notice between the second and the fourth grade curriculum. You are subject matter experts in fire and public safety. How would you rank the curriculum as in, is it current, outdated? Do we need to do something with it? Do you see the same issues that perhaps some of the teachers may see?
On the fire side, it's incredibly outdated. And if you look at the curriculum, we're teaching second and fourth graders. And fortunately, in my previous department, I had to rescue an 11-year-old from a burning building before. And out of 701 kids that are at Village, we want to know that they're receiving the proper curriculum. And they're actually being taught the risks of smoking cigarettes in second grade instead of close before you doze. I found it incorrect curriculum with a lot of things, from not just the classroom to the didactic material all the way to the skills. This is the curriculum for teaching second and fourth graders about fire prevention. So it's completely outdated, and it also lacks in a multitude of ways for what really needs to be taught in the event of destruction.
And if I could interject.
How many groups have pulled out too?
Pardon me?
How many groups have pulled out?
You mean schools coming?
No,
No.
like sponsors,
Sponsors,
to get corporate sponsors.
They don't sponsor anymore.
Like the Lions and the Knights.
We have limited sponsors. We have limited volunteers. Following on Mr. Leduc, right? No,
Mark.
I'm sorry, wrong town. Wrong town. Dyer has always done a good job of coming to Village and Protzman and doing some in-house fire. It was very good. The only thing they couldn't bring, obviously, was a Survive Alive house, which is the real important part of that. If you've not been to the Safety Village to see the smokehouse, I don't know if that's the right term for it or not, the Survive Alive house, yeah. But I don't know anything about the police curriculum.
So the Chief Bazant, he's been a member and teacher. I think police, it's more of a, let's say pedestrian safety, it's more basic stuff. In between, but I worry more about the instruction that's given, and the town's giving instruction. There are officers coming and actually teaching. We've always made a point where a Dyer officer teaches is in front of the Dyer kids. I'm not too sure the other towns are doing that. So they come to us with there's a money ask, and I think there should also be a
Responsibility.
giving the instructor as well.
You're right. We've tried that very diligently to get Cherville police officers and fire to come when Cherville was there, and similarly with St. John. I did approach Mr. Flores at St. John Police, and he said there's no way. The town has doubled in size, and he's got the same size police force. And he said there's no way. Now, what I'm hearing is that the teachers right now are two ladies from the Safety Village staff. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I've been told, but that's a concern because part of it was the authenticity of having officers there.
The children without law enforcement background with this teaching curriculum. Normally, children, as we do with our SOs here, part of it is interacting with the police and understanding it's coming from the police, so it helps public safety in the law enforcement and fire.
And you're right, years ago, we had all the officers coming into division. They still go into our schools to do presentations. You're right. So I just want to give you some information so that you can be well informed about your decision.
Thank you.
I think this is something that we can possibly, we don't need to make a decision on it now. I mean, I don't even mean this session, I mean today. We could possibly put off to the next one, but I attended a meeting and I've just been uneasy with it the whole time. So my recommendation would be, if we all want to just chew on it for a while, we continue at the funding level that we were, but I really think it's time that we tell the Safety Village, if we're funding at 15, we'll fund again at 15, but there's going to be some requirements that if we don't see a change in transparency, curriculum, I would be in favor of that being the last check that we send the Safety Village.
I have to step in too. I was able to get my hands on a little bit of the curriculum, and being a current teacher, I was really upset that it was so lacking. I did have a chance to talk with Joe Martin, and I am not comfortable with fully funding. Right now, I feel like the curriculum needs to be revamped by a lot.
And I'm not sure who wrote the curriculum other than years ago. And I'm not sure if it's been updated. We're not privy to that.
Years ago.
But you have standards. What are the standards?
Well, I'm sure there's some type of, yeah, because in community, you know, children like the kindergartners live in the community and those type of standards, but you might know more. I don't know.
So I had one of our new part-time firefighter EMTs, who actually is the head of the Community Reconstruction Coalition for all of Northwest Indiana, looked this over, and again, he shared the same sentiment I did. Now, I offered in June when I went my first week when I started as the fire chief to the safety village, 3 of our personnel to actually go and instruct. 2 of those recently have received their public fire life safety educator 1 and 2 certification, which is the highest certification I've received to teach community reconstruction. They have to send them there and to pay them to go to teach to try to I ran the fire academy for a long time in Lake County, and we had to constantly, during academies, update curriculum, and obviously before and after each academy, we update curriculum. And I can tell you, this has probably not been updated since the safety village probably started. Lacking a lot, especially with the new element studies on modern fire behavior and how it correlates with prevention.
I had heard there was some work done on some curriculum, I don't know what, by a retired social worker from Maribel Schools, but I don't know if that's true or not. It was just what I had heard, so it needs some work.
Thank you for putting this together. We'll
Sure, and if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know, okay?
Thank you.
I got one question for the
Yes.
chiefs. So, well, it's a 2-part. Based on your expertise, your experience there, do you think it's rehabable? And if it is, and if they do make all these changes, is it worth funding at the levels that we did in the past? Because I really believe we need to have the ability to teach our children about safety. It's really important, even if it just saves one life, it's really important. So I don't want to put you on the spot now, but some food for thought on which way it should do, which way they should go, what parameters they need to set before you can feel comfortable giving us a recommendation, because we all got the same concerns about putting our money forward and are we getting the best bang for the buck for it? Are we getting what we expect out of this safety village? So that's my concern.
Rehabable, yes. New standardized curriculum, the instructors having a trainer being taught how to properly teach that curriculum to 2nd and 4th graders or whatever age group that they decide to show up to. Absolutely. From what we received from the safety village, from the executive director's office, was asking the Tri-Town fire chiefs. So Chief Leduc and Patterson and I have discussed this, and that's something that we're willing to do, but obviously us rewriting this curriculum takes away time from us working within our communities as well. But again, I believe it's rehabable. We just need to make sure that once that curriculum is written, instructors in there, there's accountability within the safety village as well, because if 5 years down the road, we run into this again.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I would interject, I think some of the problems at the safety village are finding the trainers. Right?
That's what's a problem. Our point would be that we need more trainers from the other agencies. We obviously make sure that we're there, but when we have civilians teaching law enforcement, we can go to the schools at any time when we have big interaction with the schools now. We do some of that training there. The village helps with kids. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to adjourn the study session now. to pick up immediately after the town council meeting. Town council meeting was supposed to start at 6:30. I have instructed Frank, we have been broadcasting live for the last 10 minutes, so any of our viewers online, that they have been here. So I would like to call the February 10th plenary meeting to order. We stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Alicia. Here. Alan.
Here.
Mary. Here. Steve.
Present.
Bob.
Aye. At this time, we'll open the floor for any citizen input. Name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Michael Wargo. I live at 1766 Amber Way in Hartstone. I've heard what you've said during the study session, and I would respectfully disagree. I think that the golf carts should be prohibited, as they are now in town. Allowing them out on the street is an accident that's waiting to happen, and it's a tragedy that's waiting to happen. We're not Florida. We're not Arizona. People have cars here. They can drive their cars. As far as golf carts are concerned, I have never seen a child restrained in a golf cart, and they come right by my house when they're going over to Hartstone Park. I've seen children hanging off the back end of golf carts and off the sides of golf carts. I've seen them go right into the park, right past the sign that says motorized vehicles are prohibited, and drive right up to where the playground stuff is. I've seen them block streets. At the very least, I would beg you to please keep them out of the parks. They don't belong in the parks. They don't really belong on the street. They belong on a golf cart. That's why, on a golf course, that's why they're called golf carts. If they belonged on the street, they'd be called street carts. So please, please, I would urge you, and I've been around, I've seen the tragedies that happen. For those of you who are not aware of my background, I was a police officer for 30 years, both in Indiana and Illinois. I have seen my share of tragedies from traffic accidents and the like, and I don't want to see one on my street because of what happened, somebody riding a golf cart down, because these people are not going to comply with the rules. They think that they're some kind of a renegade or whatever, and it's just a tragedy and an accident waiting to happen. To very much.
Thank you. Any additional citizen input? I'll be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda to include the minutes of January 13 town council meeting, minutes of January 13 town council executive session, and claims totaling $1,577,597.56.
I'll make that motion as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alicia.
I'm gonna abstain. I wasn't here.
Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, announcements. Town offices closed for business February 21 in honor of President's Day. A second announcement that isn't on the agenda, I don't know, Mr. Town Manager, if you were going to discuss this. Opening up for applications for the Police Commission and the Disability Advisory Board. If we could do that from, say, tomorrow until the 25th, a 2-week opening. That way we have time to have an executive to do interviews and bring them on board at our March meeting.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have a special presentation with the Fire Department. Councilwoman Tanis.
Yes, firefighter Mitchell Penizak, badge number 198, is receiving the 2021 Probationary Firefighter of the Year Award for showing true professionalism and an incredible work ethic. His dedication for service and duty comes from the time in the military where he's still active duty. Mitchell just completed his 5th year at the United States Marine Corps on January 8th and is currently serving as the rank of corporal as an electrical engineer and a combat marksmanship coach for his platoon. His leadership abilities showed during this time at Lake County Fire Academy, where he served as a company leader, always lifting up his classmates and setting the proper example. He graduated from the academy on July the 2nd, 2021. Mitchell graduated from the EMT Academy on November the 28th, 2021, is currently preparing for his National Registry test. We look forward to many years of service and thank him for his dedication to his craft, our department, and his community.
Months in a row for Mitch up here, so he's been spoiled.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I believe we have one more.
Yes, we have Rick Markley, 2021 Firefighter of the Year Award. Firefighter EMT Rick Markley, badge number 174, is receiving the 2021 Firefighter of the Year Award for his tireless efforts to improve our department and serve his community. This January 5th, Rick started his 13th year of service to our department, and since day one has proven to be an asset in multiple facets. There is not a task or a responsibility that Rick would not take head on to help move the department forward. During 2021, Rick responded to the most calls of any firefighter and even found time to complete his CPR instructor certification and graduate from the Public Life Safety Education 1 and 2 course, hosted by the Indiana Fire and Public Safety Academy. His efforts to continue his education is hosted by the Indiana Fire and Public Safety Academy. His efforts to continue education, is something every firefighter should strive for. An accomplished author and linguist, Rick writes for many national fire publications across the world. His knowledge and skills in his subject matter have vastly improved reporting, writing throughout our department. We are privileged to have a member of this department as passionate and selfless as Rick, and look forward to his many years of continued service to our community.
This is actually the Rick and Mitch are actually the first recipients. This is the first time that our fire department has done awards like this. So we have a new awards criteria and we're making sure we highlight our guys a lot more. So both very well deserving, and I'm sure we'll see them up here more time for the year. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good job. Moving on to reports, town council. American Ward 2. Ward 3, Alan.
I just want to thank Public Works, the police department, fire department for their response to last week's storm. Thank you very much for all your hard work. Also want to thank the residents to pitch in and dig out fire hydrants, plow the elderly neighbors' driveways. Thank you very much for being good citizens.
Ward 4, Councilman Towns.
I think one thing, when we had the storm last week, that's when you see the best of our residents, because people came out immediately to help one another. And that's really supportive. When we see that, we even had people, digging out the storm drains and so forth so that we don't flood. So I wanted to say thank you to our residents. Second thing is, we had a Dyer and Bloom meeting the other day. And I would have to ask Annette, how many people were there? 15?
We had 16.
16 people. And very good meeting. We had Council President Starkey there. We had Town Manager Dave Hine. Assistant Town Manager Frank was there. It was a lively meeting. We learned a lot. And just today, I found out that our banners that have been taken care of by the Dyer and Bloom, they will be delivered. They will be shipped before March the 1st. So when you see those banners coming down Calumet Avenue and Sheffield, notice that that's one of our projects that we've been working on this year. But we've worked hardly, and it's been a joy to have such a nice group of volunteer people working for Dyer. That's all.
Thank you. Ward 5, Councilman Kramer.
Thank you.
So again, I echo everyone's sentiment. Everyone in town, the town of Dyer did a fabulous job with this snow event. I think I'm old enough to remember a few other events that might have had a little bit more snow, but having said that, the police, the fire department, public works, thank you guys again. They always drive by and at least they waved and slow down by the driveways and help out. Did a great job. The police appreciate all the help you did getting these cars off the street so the plows can do their work that they're able to do. Really good job. And I want to thank Dave and everyone else for the constant updates that you provided. It really helped and we were able to get this message out continually every day to the residents. I'm just a little sad that, we run short on this study session. Often thought we should have a separate one to make sure we get it done, because after our meeting, we have redevelopment. And then if we continue on, I'm ready to stay as long as we need to. One of the issues was the lack of garbage service on a Wednesday and Thursday to part of our town. So I will be talking about that. I calculated, and I think an appropriate rebate would be in order, but I'll bring that up in the study session. So thank you.
For mine again, I'd like to thank all of our employees for all the work that they did in the last storm. I would say we did have to cut the study session short. I think that's a topic. I think there's a lot of value in having the study session beforehand. So I think we should discuss whether or not we perhaps start those at 5:30 so we have more time.
Or a separate day.
Or a separate day, so we can discuss that going forward. That's what I have. Clerk Treasurer's report.
Yes, I have some donations, $100 donation towards the chief's discretion and $10 towards the K-9 program. Can I have a motion so you can accept those donations, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the donations as presented by the clerk.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion?
I'm sorry, I missed the amounts and from whom?
100 to the chief's discretion from Mary Tim. And K-9 program is $10 from some children, so I don't have their permission to announce their
I
names.
agree wholeheartedly, but thank you.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Town manager's report.
Everything I have tonight is an agenda item, so I will elaborate as they come up.
Town attorney.
One important update, the town was served with a lawsuit, a civil rights claim against the police department. The claim is submitted to travelers who have assigned counsel, Mr. Veltri, who is a part of their staff counsel, who will be handling the defense in the litigation. I will be consulting with him on the defense of the case. There are other pending lawsuits. There hasn't been any significant action on them. I will provide updates as that occurs.
Board and commission, Frank.
Progress is continuing on our water projects, our major water projects on schedule from where we discussed last month. Probably within 30 days, we'll be able to activate a Highland replacement Highland supply line. The Munster supply line probably is looking towards mid-March to end of March because we're waiting on a meter vault. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much completed there. The distribution line, redundant distribution line, is already completed and operational. The interconnects down at 77th Avenue, the Cherville connection, emergency interconnection, as well as the pipe works and other improvements over at the booster station should be completed again prior to April 1st. So that's progressing quite well. On the sanitary side, there's no major updates to the initiatives there, which are all, of course, ongoing, progressing as scheduled.
Thank you. And at Wargo, we have our park board president here. Do you have any updates from the park board meeting?
Actually, we're moving forward very quickly on certain elements of the the north end of the community park. The south end, we've just started working on, and we have some good plans. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Let me give you a different point.
Okay. At any rate, we're doing a very, very good job. We're excited that we're getting a new member tonight because we've needed one for a while, and hopefully the person will be very enthusiastic to work with us to move things forward in a beautiful way. And of course, we have Justin here to do Mike's report.
Thank you. We'll move to department heads now. Public Works.
Again, just to elaborate on the some of that from last week, I want to thank the police department, fire department for all their assistance that they helped with us. Again, from getting cars off the road and helping out with digging out the hydrants. That was a big help, so I appreciate that. Just a little also information, we had around 900 hours in those 3 days of actual employee work hours. So again, also last week we had a water main break on Sheffield. Started Friday night, finished up Saturday morning. Everything's been fixed. The road, however, will have to get some long-term repairs because again, right now we just got the cold patch on it. So come springtime, we'll have to get that fixed permanently. Trucks are still scheduled for delivery in March. The 3 pickup trucks and 2 pickup trucks and 3 HDs. Those are supposed to be delivered next month. Streetlights, we're planning to do a performance check on all the streetlights, NIPSCO and town-owned, see if they're working, kind of see where we're at with that. Later this month or early in March. Building services personnel have been working with the clerk's office, helping out with the renovations, and they've done some repairs at the fire station as well. I think the air compressor is what they've been working on right now. So they're helping over there. And we have some part-time interviews starting next week on Wednesday. So it works.
Parks Department.
On the north end of Central Park, Barton Electric has finished installing all 24 ball field light pole bases into the ground. Currently 14 of the 24 light poles are installed. And we have completed, we have a complete landscape plan ready for the north end. Autumn Chase project, we recorded the deed with the IDNR language for the land and water grant. We will be submitting our first round of reimbursement for the project. And the Elmer Miller splash pad, Park Board received the latest plan with proposed on-site building for bathroom and mechanical room. And then the south end of Central Park, working on finalizing the south end design with Robinson Engineering, and are anticipating to be completed with the design work by May. And on the recreation side, Friday and Saturdays are daddy-daughter dance at St. John Community Center. And there are currently 295 participants.
Thank you. Police Department.
January, we had 593 incidences, 48 arrests, 36 accidents, 328 citations, 361 warnings. Prior to the meeting, I handed you the department 2021 annual report. I'm available for any questions that you have of that. Even if you have something later on in the email.
I just want to say thank you for the annual report. Good information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or should I thank Jim too?
Actually, Tracy.
Fire. Month of January, we had 184 total calls for service. We had 676 hours of training. We received the money from the IPEP grant, so you'll start to see the AEDs and stop and bleed kits being installed in all of our public buildings. And starting March 23rd, we're going to start doing CPR and stop and bleed training, starting with Public Works and Parks and working our way through all of our town employees. And I'd like to, on a personal note, thank all my guys for going out, digging out all those hydrants with DPW over the course of 4 or 5 days. So beneficial work in the long run in case we had to use it.
Thank you. Roads.
Good evening.
Thank you, Neil, for shutting the doors.
Truly a pleasure. I found my calling. The 2021-1 CCMG projects, which is the reconstruction of Edgewood, Carnation, and resurfacing and utilities on Schilling. Construction is expected to start within the next 30 to 60 days. We work with Frank and Dave to put together information on the town website for the residents in terms of what to expect as part of those projects. And that will be reviewed and put on the town website and the social media for the residents. And they're aware of what to do, who to call, what questions they need to have asked and answered as well. The 2022-1 CCMG, which is the reconstruction of 214th, Magnolia, and Madison. We are proceeding with design. We are awaiting the NDOT award, which was submitted at the end of January. And then following the award, we will proceed with the bidding process and have to have that under contract within 120 days after we are awarded from NDOT. That's all I have for those. I have a big report later. I can do that now or wait till the end, whatever you prefer.
No, it's fine.
Okay. For the 2021-2 CCMG award, those projects as listed on page 3 in the bid report. We have Seminary, Summer Hill, Hawthorne, North and South, Wind Hill, Autumn Lane, Harvest Drive, Crestview, Greenwood, 211, Jackson, 212, Capri, and then we have a water main replacement as part of the 212th and Jackson project. We opened bids this week on the 8th. We had 2 bidders. The tabulation and the report and proofs of publication are included in your packet. And for that, we had an engineer's opinion, a cost of $1.35 million. The bids range from $1,426,354.35 to $1,451,168.65. All bidders did submit the required bid bond and State Board of Accounts Form 96 non-collusion affidavit. There was one mathematical error, which was just a product of the units versus the cost with the Milestone Contractors North bid. We corrected that per specification. That error had no impact on the recommendation for award as they were not the low bidder initially or after that correction. So in the review of the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, that would be made to Reith Riley Construction Company in the amount of $1,426,354.35. Any questions?
I noticed our bids were not as good as last year.
We've seen bids up to 20% higher than last year. So given where we were at, while it is disappointing, I absolutely agree. There are supply chain, which we've all heard, and inflation issues that are unfortunately outside of everyone's control. I believe oil's up 28%. Raw materials from last year to this year. And that directly impacts the majority of the entirety of your project, which is asphalt.
Right.
Whether it's binder or surface, it's essentially the major component of the resurfacing projects. It is frustrating to be sure.
It's still not bad, but last year we really look now and say, wow, we really did good last year.
I would prefer our engineer's opinion of cost to be the high bidder. But unfortunately, this year is an anomaly to be sure. But on the good side, we were able to secure the entirety of our maximum allowable NDOT community crossing matching grant funds.
Good.
Which is exactly what we're also doing for the 2022-1 application that we coordinated with the town manager's office for those reconstruction projects this year.
Avalon Bill.
Yes.
I know this is not part of the CCMG, USC, that's local funds. Town manager, Public Works, you are all working, we're still looking for that to be completed this year.
Yes, that would be a reconstruction of those 2 streets with local funds, as you said.
And where are we at with starting? Because I'm assuming you probably need some time for engineering work.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe a week or 2. Yeah, I would estimate that as we move forward with the award and NDOT compliance on this project, we'll coordinate with Dave's office on a not to exceed proposal to complete that work and then coordinate with Public Works, water, sewer, Any issues, I'll give Tom Burke a call and say, what do you need over here? The good thing is the majority of the stormwater work in there is in the rear yards. So, anything that we do within the street is going to be casting adjustments, repairing structures, new grates, those kind of things. But as always, we want to make sure all boards and commissions related to that infrastructure is included. So what we'd be looking for is a acceptance of the bids, and notice of award has been presented to the town manager's office for his signature if you choose to accept the bid.
Are we looking for a motion?
Yeah, looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion that we accept the bid as presented by our lead engineer, Neil.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil.
Next up, we have old business appointment to boards and commissions.
I'll make a motion to appoint Andrew Power to the Dyer Park Board.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
No, as we interviewed, I thought there was one interviewee that stood out above all the others, which was Bob Woodlock. I noticed that he attends the meetings and park board meetings and the town council meetings, and I think it's great. It's still on us that we pick those citizens that show the input, not only at just an interview, but for the meetings himself, the park board and the others. And I think he's well qualified. Has the time, he was retired, had several master's degrees, including in marketing, which would help tremendously with the parks. So I don't know why that was jumped out like that, but I'm gonna be no, because simply everything I just spoke about, and that's what I feel.
I think we had two fine candidates. I agree, Mr. Woodlock would serve the town greatly on any board or commission. However, I just feel that we owe it to Mr. Power, since he did come the last time around, went through the process. We did pick another candidate for the board. I mean, just on my time on the council, we've seen several good candidates for various boards and commissions come to the town. They get passed over and they never come back. So I'll give Mr. Power credit for coming back a second time.
Would have given more credit if he showed up at a meeting.
What is the term of this? He's taking someone's spot, right? Just so we put it on the certificate
This will be a
correctly.
brand new term, started 1/1 of 22, that'll go 12/31 of 25.
I have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
No.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
No,
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have the board appointments for the Historic Preservation Commission. We have 4 candidates that were interviewed. This is a board not unlike the Disability Advisory Board with no political affiliations, and I don't believe there is a cap on the number of people on this board.
And no bonding authority.
Correct. So we can select 3, we can select all 4. I'll be looking for a motion for any of those options.
There is one, yeah,
The way our ordinance is written, setting this up, we have a 3-member board. So right now, we're only authorized for 3 members. If we want to nominate a 4th, that's certainly permissible. We just have to amend the ordinance and take care of that at another meeting.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Kevin Jacobs, Leigh Schneider, Rebecca Jetka, and Jason Schickner to the Historical Preservation Commission. Also noting that we would have to amend the ordinance to allow 4 candidates.
Well, which one's going to be your contingent?
That's a good question.
Are these 1-year terms, 2-year terms, 3-year terms?
I
I
think,
believe they're 4-year terms.
I think the contingent would be Kevin Jacobs.
Is that your motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
So based on the motion that was for originally for all four, but you had to correct it because the ordinance did not allow for all four and you changed it to have one as a standby. Is that your motion?
One, but yeah, Mr. Jacobs would be a contingent till we adjust amend the ordinance.
Contingent on amendment of the ordinance.
So are
So if
we
it's
allowed
amended, he can
to
be in it,
select,
not the-
Yes,
Just-
yes.
are we allowed to select somebody even though there's no ordinance allowing it? I didn't think that was allowed.
What you would do is you would amend the ordinance and the appointment would already be made. If the ordinance isn't, if you can approve anything contingent as a contingency.
I guess I'll defer to somebody who has some legal expertise.
Mr. President, if I can also add to maybe the emotion, you can appoint them all to 3-year terms, or you can do 3, 2, and 1, however you wish. Since this is the beginning of the board, they can all be 3 years, or you can select a 3, a 2, or a 1, so that they're staggered in the future. It's completely your choice, but I think it should probably be included in the motion so we know who's who.
I would amend my motion then that they would be appointed for 3-year terms.
Are you gonna amend the second?
I would. And then,
Yes.
okay, yes, and I would agree with that because I think this is just a group of people that is just starting out. They're gonna need the 3 years to really get started. And they have a big task ahead of them. I'm anxious to see what they're going to do.
Any further discussion?
Not on this issue.
Roll call?
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. Next up, ordinances and resolutions. We have ordinance 2022-03, amendment to the salary ordinance. Town manager, do you have a discussion on that?
I do. We came before you with the salary ordinance last month. We had one amendment to the longevity, and that was to coincide with the changes downstate. However, the final language that made it downstate was not the language that was circulated earlier. So our mark of 25 years needs to be reflected to 24 years to be consistent with the reason we made the moves. So I'm simply asking for our 25 year to be moved to 24. And then there's also 2 additional changes that Fire Chief Martin had requested to clean up some of the language as it results to outside part-time firefighters.
Looking for a motion to accept ordinance 2022-03 on first reading.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2022-03 on first reading.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Roll.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Looking for motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-03 on second reading.
I'll make the motion that we suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-03 on second reading.
Second that.
Motion and second, any discussion? Roll call.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up, ordinance 2022-04, an amendment to the water rate ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-04, amending water rate increase schedule on first reading.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second.
If I may, Mr.
Yeah, please.
President, I'll let Frank explain the technical reasoning behind this, but we passed the tracker ordinance, which allows this body to approve water rates within the parameters of that ordinance without noticing a public hearing, simply to keep up with costs to the town for the water supply. So that's the reason we can pass this as an ordinance without the statutory public hearing. That was done already. And this is under the umbrella of the tracker ordinance that was passed. So I'll turn it over to Frank.
Yeah, essentially that captured. Our minimum charges are basically the number of gallons, basically 2,000, so forth. That's how they're computed. And in the original ordinance, it had a specific value for the first increase, but didn't address the subsequent increases. By doing this, we don't have to address it each time. It'll just follow.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So Frank, just to be clear, this is not any type of increase. This is just cleaning up language from the ordinance 2021-17.
Yes, so you don't
Okay.
have to take this action every single year.
Right.
So this does raise the rate. Because on bullet number 2, it's adopt a water rate increase schedule for Dyer through fiscal year 2031.
Well, the increase schedule was already adopted. This is
Right.
amending the increase schedule. This just addresses the minimum charges that were not built in to track the increase in rates over the 10 years. This corrects that omission from.
The minimum charges are to follow the rate increase.
Yes, exactly.
But in the original ordinance, they were specific to just the first year. This will make sure that they follow like they
The one that
should.
we passed.
Correct. Yes, yes. This is nothing additional. This is housekeeping, cleaning up the language.
It's not an additional charge.
Correct.
No, because we know by what the rate will increase from Hammond over the next 10 years. So rather than do this every single year.
We're just gonna let it roll.
Right.
And it reduces the administrative burden.
Any further discussion? Roll.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and approve ordinance number 2022-04, amending the water rate increase schedule.
I'll second the motion.
Motion a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
No.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have resolution 2022-06, the business personal property tax that we discussed in the study session.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-06, opposing proposed legislation in the Indiana General Assembly that would eliminate business personal property revenue.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, just to be clear, the version that's in your packets is an older version. I had circulated an updated version at the request of the town manager. I just want to make sure.
Which is in the original documents, just so you know, they're just not in your packets because those were already down here.
I just want to make sure you
Yes.
know which version.
There is a different document than this one. What can we have in there? This one is certified by attorney senior. Thank you.
So this is. The only difference between the two versions is this one is more general. The previous version referenced an incorrect bill number, and this one is a lot more general. This is based off of the form that Ames circulated, but it achieves the same.
Any further discussion?
I just think I know the state wants to remain business friendly, but it should not be at the detriment of the town.
Or the residents.
for the residents ultimately.
Roll call.
Alicia,
I,
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have resolution 2022-07, the IntelliFlex contract renewal.
Yeah, in your package, you have basically a continuation of the services that we've been receiving.
And just to be clear, the IntelliFlex agreement expired at the end of last year. What took so long to get this before you is that IntelliFlex's president is now also an employee of the town, and there is a conflict statute. So in figuring out how to best to deal with that, based on the services provided by IntelliFlex and Mr. Jackson's role with the town, this can be made legal, so to speak, just through a disclosure statement as provided by statute. Mr. Jackson has filled one out in 2016, and it is on file with the town, and those have no expiration, and statute mandates no minimum period before entering into a contract. So that is a valid disclosure for this. And the other thing to be clear is there is a renewal agreement attached to the resolution. Assuming the resolution passes, the renewal agreement will be executed, and it will incorporate the original 2009 agreement along with the renewal, the additional renewal terms from 2018. So I can answer any questions you have about what I just said.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-07, approving renewal contract with the IntelliFlex and conflicts disclosure.
I'll second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll.
Alicia,
I,
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, new business, lease purchase, payment allocation for 3 dump trucks.
Yes, this originally came before the council in April of 2021. And the funding was scheduled to be 20% storm, 20% water, 20% sanitary, and 40% TIF. During the recent State Board of Accounts audit, the usage of TIF funds was advised to stop using the TIF funds for motorized vehicles or any kind of mobile equipment from here on out. So following their recommendation, we are going to have Jeff go back to each board to increase the percentages that they're going to contribute so that we can make up the TIF 40%. You already approved it. Just wanted to update you that some of the percentages are changed. Attorney, I don't know if we need to have a re-approval since the percentages changed or just more of an update.
What was approved?
The percentages of being 20, 20, 20, and then 40 out of TIF as far as the financing portion of it.
I would read this.
Okay. So be looking for, the trucks are due in March as scheduled. The approval for the purchase go forward was done in April 2021, given the market situation and the upgrade equipment plows. It's due to be in at the end of March. Just asking for your consideration to direct Jeff to go back to the utilities to increase the percentages.
Okay. I would make a motion that Public Works will go back to the utility boards to make up the 40% from TIF.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll.
Alicia,
I,
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Thank you. Good.
Next up is the Move to Indiana initiative.
Myself and President Starkey had talked about this. I know we brought this up, but I thought we would bring it up to just make sure that we're taking some action to move forward with this initiative. My recommendation is to engage Move to Indiana initiative and authorize me to seek additional funding through the South Shore Visitors Authority that will contribute to this project as well. I'm asking for platinum sponsorship, and the end result to the town of Dyer will be right around $5,000. For that, we get 2 personalized videos to promote the town of Dyer, 1 residential, 1 commercial, and we will be featured in all of their advertisements for the Move to Indiana initiative.
You want to do the platinum sponsorship?
Correct. That'll get us the 2 videos. If we were maxed out on either a commercial, I would say 1 video and not being included in that. But since the next 1 to 2 years is going to be very, very active for our commercial development, I think we should dedicate 1 single video just to commercial.
Right, I agree.
Businesses that want to move to Indiana and 1 towards residential.
No, the cost here is 10,000.
Correct. And the South Shore Visitors Bureau has a program that'll reimburse $4,725 towards a projects like this. So that'll leave the remaining balance to us. This video would be also our ownership. So we talked about playing it on a loop in our foyer and having links to our website, kind of assists us with marketing that we talked about. We wanted to increase in the future for the town.
That's the second one we're gonna have, so that'll be, it won't get boring. It won't be the same one over and over.
And they'll host demographics and even real estate searches and these types of things on their site for the purposes that we'll link to. And then we'll have a custom landing page on that site as well. So again, trying to promote our desire both for businesses and residents.
Have you seen a draft agreement for this? Do we own the copyright or is it just a license?
That's a great question, Attorney Cedia, and I will make sure if there's agreement that is not attached, I will forward it to you and make sure you're comfortable with it.
Is there a video CRA that they've already done?
Yeah, if it wasn't a link in a previous email, I can recirculate. This is the launch of this program, so you won't probably see the exact end result, but they want to include us on this original communities that it gets launched. So
There's a link to Crown Point's video that we got.
Thank
you.
So it's in that. So recirculate.
I will send it out too after the meeting, just so it refreshes on top of your email list.
So are we looking for a motion to proceed, knowing that so long as it's contingent on Mr. Cedia reviewing the contract agreement?
Yeah, and you may want to include the specific dollar amount in that motion.
What was the dollar amount?
10,000.
What was the rebate?
It was potential of $4,725 to be reimbursed. So I would say maybe the motion to include the platinum sponsorship and authorize the town manager to seek that grant of $4,725 from SSCBA.
That's fine.
Is there,
I'll make that motion that we authorize the town manager to move forward with the PN, marketing for Indiana at the platinum level and authorize him to do all the necessary paperwork and everything else to get the rebates.
I'll second that.
my first discussion point is, if for some reason, is there, I don't know what the history of this particular grant process is. If we, for some reason, don't get that, are we still comfortable spending 10,000?
The motion was to spend 10,000, but yeah, as we spend it, don't, one other question, do we have a first and second? Is this an annual membership or is this a one-time fee?
This is a one-time fee right now.
Okay, I'm good.
Roll.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Neil covered the CCMG 2021-2 bid award already. Moving to any and all, I will just make a reminder that after this is RDC, and I hope to pick up the remainder of the study session after that.
I'll second the motion.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Thank you. Aye.
I'd like to call the February 10th, 2022 Dyer Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. Is there any citizen input? Hearing none. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the minutes of the January 13th, 2022 Redevelopment Commission meeting. Claims totaling $214,113.93.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bob,
That's for discussion.
Yeah, just for
Yeah,
discussion.
there's some changes that need to be made if you read through the notes.
For the election of,
This is for the consent agenda.
oh,
Yeah, we're
okay.
up
Oh, no, this is what I'm saying, because of the minutes here. Under election of officers, it says here, recommend motion to elect Mary Tannis as president, roll call was taken. Did we not elect a vice president?
We did. Alan,
Okay.
Not reflected in the
Yeah,
minutes.
the minutes don't say that. So,
It's supposed to work deal with me.
it was, yeah, there was a mistake in the minutes then. It should have been Mary and then Alan was the vice president.
Is that what the record shows?
you could just vote on the minutes the next meeting and Sue can get the corrections
We'll
done.
table it to the next meeting.
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion to table the agenda till the next consent agenda till the next meeting.
What about the claims?
Oh, okay,
I
but
want to do those.
Yeah.
yeah,
Minutes.
let's, all right,
Table the
You
minutes.
can amend, how I would do, sorry to just,
No.
I would amend the motion to table the minutes and approve the claims,
okay.
because there's a motion.
I will make a motion to table the minutes and approve the claims.
Have a second?
second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bob,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Mary.
Aye. Next, we should elect an executive secretary for RDC.
I'd like to make the motion to appoint Councilwoman Alicia Myers as the executive secretary of RDC.
Have a second?
I'll
Hearing
second that
none.
motion.
Just background statute requires this board to have an executive session.
Yes, it does.
So that's what.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bob,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary, I'm sorry, Steve,
Aye.
Mary.
Aye. Any and all? Anything for further discussion? Hearing none, do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Bob,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
7:34 PM, I'd like to resume the town council study session. starting with item number 7, the beautification initiative. We've had some conversations. We had some conversations about where Dyer and Bloom fits in with the beautification of the town, and then if we want to have some discussion about where, what I would term major projects for major beautification projects that would involve